Hi guys, it's Paula and I hope you are doing well. This is going to be another episode of Shopping Our Stash. That is a collab that I do with my friend Elisabeth, and I hope you go check out her video as well and subscribe to her. She is a real sweetheart and I enjoy her content so much, so please do check her out. Every month Elisabeth and I have a quick chat via direct message about what the color for the month is going to be, and we've kind of been enjoying sticking to certain themes for the month. Now that won't work for every month, but it has so far, and of course with this month's video falling on Easter, we decided to go with a shade that reminded us of that holiday. If you are celebrating Easter today, happy Easter. I hope you guys are having a wonderful day. So the color we decided to go with is lavender. Regardless of the fact that it's Easter, I love lavender. It has been a serious obsession for 20 years or so. I don't know, a while. I remember my first eyeshadow, like my first signature look being a purple eye look, because I'd heard that purple works well with brown eyes, and so I would put all the purples and lavenders all over my eyes, and here we are today and I'm still putting all the purples and lavenders all over my eyes. Now I don't want to get too much into numbers for this video, but while I was pulling out all of the lavender eyeshadows I own, I started to realize that I needed to tally this, and the amount of lavender eyeshadows I have is a buttload. I have a buttload, that is a metric term. I have a buttload of lavender eyeshadows. If you live in America, that converts to a crap ton. I have a crap ton or a buttload of lavender eyeshadows. It is ridiculous. I couldn't even wear a long sleeve shirt today, and I almost shaved my arms for this video because that is how many lavender eyeshadows I have. Don't let me buy any lavender eyeshadows from here on out, guys. Just don't let it happen, because I'm apparently a gigantic sucker for lavender eyeshadows. I have so many lavender eyeshadows, I could probably create 3 separate videos of subcategories of lavender. 4. Matte lavender, metallic lavender, duochrome lavender with a blue shift, silvery taupey lavender. I mean, I have lavenders coming out of my ears. You thought I was gonna say something else, didn't you? I have lavenders coming out of my ears. So let's start swatching. 2 palettes that are currently living in my bathroom are, of course, my Moon Dust eyeshadow palette from Urban Decay, because it is in my Pan in Every Palette project, and my magnetic palette that is my Pan That palette for this year, and I have lavenders in both. I am hoping that by December of 2019, this little shadow will be gone, and I think that's possible if I stay focused. I have this shadow in my kind of crease, today, and I've really been enjoying it, and it's just been really nice to use. Let's see how it swatches. There you go. It's pretty subtle. The way that I've really been enjoying that shadow is to just kind of blend out whatever colorful, more pigmented products that I put on my eyelid and my outer V, and I just kind of dust it out with that, and it blurs everything. But yes, that is it right there. And then of course in my Moon Dust palette I have a shadow called Magnetic right there, and I have that on my eyelid as well, kind of tapped on top of the other purples on my eyelid here. It's kind of a blackened lavender, if there's such a thing, but I had to include it. I had to. There's little blue shimmers running through this that make it very cool. I pulled out one ColourPop Super Shock Shadow. This is one of my most favorite lavenders ever. Unfortunately, it was from a limited edition collection. This is from the My Little Pony collection, and it is the shade Sunbeam. I had this in my Peeping Pan project last year, and unfortunately I couldn't roll it over because it has completely shattered, and I need to, well, basically whatever little progress I was making is gone, so I would have had to start over, which is fine. But yeah, it's kind of a train wreck right now. Let me squish it all down so I can get a decent swatch. This is one of the most gorgeous lavender shimmers I own, and it's stunning. Definitely more of a blue lavender. I noticed that as well. I have some more like warm tone lavenders and cool tone lavenders. This is definitely a cool tone lavender, but it is stunning. I have bought a few face products over the years that in truth I bought with the intention of using them as eye products. This is prior to me realizing that using up an eyeshadow takes forever, let alone using up a face product as an eyeshadow will take forever. But I know that now. The first one I got on sale at Walgreens, and it is a Maybelline blush in the shade Wild Blossom. And it is a very warm lavender kind of lilac shade that honestly, I don't know if I've ever used on my cheeks or on my eyes. So let's swatch it. Right there. I should put that in Project 10 uses. I'll probably be saying that a lot. I should put that in Project 10 uses. I should put that in Project 10 uses. Purple highlighter, anyone? Yeah, I probably won't be wearing any purple highlighters on my face that often. This is Lilac to Reality from Wet n Wild. It's the one with the adorable heart. Oh boy. In the center. That is so cute. And it is definitely lilac, or lavender, I should say. That is gorgeous. Very cool tone lavender. And of course, if we're talking about purple highlighters, I'm going to be talking about my my Moonchild palette from ABH. Let's talk about the color Purple Horseshoe. There's a lot of lavender vibes going on in this palette, but I'll just swatch that one. And there it is right there. It's very similar to the Wet n Wild one, but just a little bit more blue, I think, and a little less purple. I'm not gonna know if this is really a lavender until I swatch it. I think I just wanted a reason to pull this palette out. I am talking about the Too Faced and Candy Johnson collab. It's so cute. It's adorable. And there is a shadow in here called Sugar Plum. And this is one of those silvery taupey lilacs that I am a total sucker for. Not joking. That shadow is the reason why I bought this entire palette. I love that shadow. Did I need it? Do I already have it? No and yes. Have I worn it? No. I have issues. Let's keep on going. Let's keep going down my hairy, non-shaved arms. Yeah, not really a lilac. Another not used enough palette by Too Faced is the Stardust by Vegas Nay. I watched my friend Beth pan this last year on her YouTube channel, and it was a joy. It made me want to pull this palette out so many times. Every time I saw her update, I was like, ooh, that's a good palette. I should use it. Mine looks pretty much brand new, but we have another shimmery lavender shade right there. So kind of on the silver side. Let's see how it swatches. Right. Here. Huh. Where'd you go? That is so light. Okay. Has it gone bad? Was it ever that good? I don't know. Let's talk about a lavender that will pack a punch. The one in the BH Cosmetics Weekend Festival palette, right? Yes, you right here. Little Wicked over here is kind of on the deep side of lavender, but I have to swatch it. I have to. Have I used this palette yet? Nope, I have not. All right, come on, come through, BH. Yes. This is almost purple, but we're gonna count it. All right, let's talk about the Magic palette by Juvia's Place. There are some amazing shadows in this palette. There's a purple blue shifting duochrome called Fazo. right here. Let's swatch it. I feel like my fingers have never touched the shadow before. All right, right there. Yes. Oh my gosh. Get on my eyes right now. That shadow is amazing. We're gonna be flashing back with some of these palettes because they're getting on the older side. So let me know if you guys have any of these or remember these. The first one is another questionable lavender, and it comes from the Too Faced White Chocolate Chip palette. It's more one of those silvery taupey lavenders that I fall for every time. And it is right here. It is so cute. It is called Sugared Raisin. It's probably an exact dupe for that one in the Candy Johnson palette, but I bought it anyways. Let's see, where'd the Candy Johnson one go? Right here? Ah, it's a little different. More shimmery, less deep of a taupey base. All right, I found my It's Judy Time collaboration palette with BH Cosmetics. I used to be such a huge fan of It's Judy Time and Judy and her little family. Kind of got out of the habit of watching her, but let's swatch this one right here. It looks like a kind of bluish lavender. Oh yeah. It's giving me the lavender feels. The NYX Avant Pop palette. This is gorgeous. This palette was called the Nouveau Chic, and there are some really great shadows in this palette. And I'm talking about that one right there. This is so buttery smooth. NYX is so hit and miss. I wish they could get a consistent formula for their eyeshadows. All right. Definitely a cool toned lavender compared to some of these warmer ones. I don't know if this is going to come out lavender or not, but I figured we could take a look at Dimension in the Prism palette. It is one of those fuller kind of shadows. Again, the reason I bought this palette was this shadow right here, and I was left feeling a little bit disappointed in it, or underwhelmed, I guess would be the right word. But it's been about a year since I've touched most of the shadows in this palette. I did use Sphere last summer. Well, I guess that's about a year too. Yeah, not really lavender. Kind of underwhelming. See how dark and gray blue? There's a pink shift in it that's very pretty, but I was definitely hoping for something more like that when I bought it. And it's not. And obviously I don't need to buy any more lavenders because I got them. All right, the Too Faced Passionately Pretty eyeshadow collection. I have a really like white lavender here and a pinky lavender here. It looks more pink here than lavender. Let's try the white lavender that's up here and see how that swatches. Probably will look white, but you know, I'm running out of arm space. Yeah, doesn't really do a whole lot. That would be a good shadow for kind of blending out any craziness that occurred during eye makeup application. All right, my sad looking Petal Pusher palette from Wet n Wild. I've never actually used this palette, but it had a little accident and had to be repressed. The shade that I'm going to swatch is this one right here. It took the brunt of the damage from the fall. Right there. I wish I could buy that palette again, but I can't. Okay, don't think about that. You have purple. All right, let's get a real good swatch here. There you go. All right, I'm going to stop and, well, I guess I could go to my other arm. Why not? All right, up next, I have my Tarte Believe in Yourself palette. I remembered. And there is another fabulous shimmery lavender shade right here. It is called Fairy. Yes, Fairy. Best smelling palette ever. And it's a pretty deep lavender, but definitely still a lavender. Up next is another kind of dusty lavender from the Balm Shady Lady Special Edition palette. This one right here, this is called Just This Once, Jamie. That's pretty funny. If Jamie agrees to that, she is a shady lady. And there it is. Right there. I've had that palette forever. It still swatches beautifully. Who remembers this guy? This is the Sephora Ombre Obsessions palette. I bought it off of clearance thinking I'd gotten a steal of a deal, and I didn't. It's not that great of a palette, and there's a reason it was on clearance. It looks like that. It is so beautiful. It looks delicious. Like I want to eat it, but unfortunately, the quality of the shadows are not the best. But there is a little bit of lavender right up there, so that's where I'm gonna swatch. Ooh, that swatch actually came out really nice. There. Looks good. Some of the shadows were not as good of performers. I feel like this palette comes out in every one of these Shopping Our Stash collabs, but the Smashbox Masterclass from 2015 maybe. And there's a beautiful lavender, a shimmery one right here called Celestial. What a good name. All right. There you go. Gorgeous. In another palette that has seen a lot of daylight because of this project is my BH Cosmetics Eyes on the 60s palette, and you can probably see it through the window, but there is an adorable lavender shade that is matte right here. That's the one I'm gonna swatch. Always can use a nice matte lavender. I don't have a ton of those. This is only, I think, the second one I've swatched so far. Yeah. So there it is right there. It's definitely a pinky lavender. Come on, light, act right. This is a magnetic palette of depotted shadows that just stays in storage. I definitely considered all of these for my Pan That palette for this year, but none of these made the final cut. But I have a really nice lavender shade down here. I actually have a couple of nice lavender shades in there, but I'm gonna swatch this one. I don't know if I can recall where this came from, but it's just a nice shimmery lavender. Might have some hard pan on it. We'll see. It's kind of amazing that they all do not have hard pan. Okay. Not much there, to be honest. Just being honest, there's not much going on there. I have two lavenders in this magnetic palette. One is, Hazel's up, we're in trouble. One is a straight up shimmery lavender. This came from Makeup Geek. It's a foiled shadow, and one is another duochrome. This is Charmed from Looksy Beauty. Yeah. And the Makeup Geek one is called, hi Haze, Daydreamer. So this one is Daydreamer, and this one is Charmed from Looksy Beauty. Daydreamer, Charmed. There you go, sister. Okay, another Looksy Beauty single that is Lilac with a blue shift is Duper Star. That is gorgeous. All right, out of all the lavender eyeshadows I own, I actually have one that is called Lavender, and that is this guy right here from my Lorac Mega Pro 2. I bought this at Kohl's not too long ago. There. Another purple blue shifting eyeshadow is in my Urban Decay Reloaded Vice Limited Reloaded palette. It's the shade Asphyxia right here. Okay, Hayes. I have a matte and a shimmer lavender in this Zodiac palette, but for the sake of swatching, I am just gonna do the matte one right here. That is a stunning matte lavender. Borderline purple. I'm gonna call it lavender for today's video. Or maybe it is just purple. By the way, Elisabeth and I have finally set a date for our palette bingo using the Zodiac palette, so stay tuned for that. It will be coming in May. Another palette that seems to make its way out for every one of these videos is my 100 pan palette from e.l.f. Let's swatch this one right here. It actually swatches pretty nicely. Not bad, e.l.f. Not bad at all. Okay, we are down to just one stack of lavender eyeshadows. We're getting there. Oh no, there was a stack behind that stack, so never mind. I am so excited to pull my Amethyst palette out that I'm pulling it out even though there's not really a lavender shade in this palette. I just got a little carried away, but I'm gonna go ahead and swatch this one in the center. It's kind of lavender, so I had to bring it out. Hazel has swatched this palette before, but I have not. That is definitely a pinky lavender. Well, it just looks pink. What a shame, huh? I still love it, but it is not lavender. Couple of ColourPop palettes. This one is again the My Little Pony collection, and there's a beautiful lavender in here, right there. I think it's called Sky Dancer, I think. There you go, right there. That is like a perfect lavender. That is like my definition of lavender. Another duochrome lavender is from the Elements of Surprise palette. It has a lot of blue in it. Look at that. Gorgeous. This MAC Classic Cutie palette was gifted to me by a friend and subscriber. Her name is Valerie, and I just thought that was so sweet. There is a gorgeous light lavender shade in this palette. It is right down here, obviously. Oh. I thought it was so sweet for her to think of me. She ended up with 2 of these, and instead of returning it, she gave it to me. There it is, gorgeous. Oh my gosh, guys. I think it's time to wash my arms. Okay, my arms have a slight lavender tinge to them, but we're gonna keep it moving because we are not done yet. The Stila in the Moment eyeshadow palette. Have not used this a whole lot. Kinda brand new, even though it's old. Let's swatch this one right here. This is the shade Impulse. Right there, very nice. You guys know this was in my panning games a few months ago. This is the Metals palette from the Ulta Beauty collection. Oh. And there was only one shadow in this palette that I used during that month, and it was the lavender right there. I really enjoyed that shadow, and I thought it was nice. Look at that, that is beautiful. Okay, Dose of Colors, the Ice Cream palette has a beautiful shadow in here called Lavender Honey. It's like a blue lavender right there. I think that is gorgeous. Definitely a blue lavender and a little bit deeper, but definitely lavender. Okay, this is the Lorac Tease Me Truffles. This came from a holiday set a few years ago. This is another taupey silvery lavender right here. that I love. That reminds me a lot of, was that the one from the candy palette? Yeah, I think so. This is another Beach Cosmetics palette. This is the Enchanting Eyes for Gorgeous Green Eyes. I do not have green eyes, but I love the colors in this palette so much that I bought it anyways. I'm a rule breaker. And of course, because purples look so great on people with green eyes, there's a few of them in there, but I'm gonna swatch this one. When I saw the marketing images for this palette, I thought it was gonna be the size of an Urban Decay palette, but it's like a little mini. All right, I have enough silvery lilacs. I gotta stop. We're down to the last little stack of lavender shadows. L'Oreal Infallible Burst into Bloom. This is kind of a lavender slash purple shade, but it is the most perfect springtime purple lavender shade ever. All right, right there. Definitely a warm toned lavender. Almost a pinky lavender. This is an old Too Faced quad. It doesn't have a name. It's just called the Too Faced Eyeshadow Collection. This came in a set, and it's possibly one right around the time I was getting into YouTube, so 2009-ish. And it's a nice quad. I'm gonna swatch that lavender guy right there. He is called Exclusive Lavender. I have two more to talk about. They're both beautiful shimmery foil types. This is a Milani quad called the Fierce Foil Eyeshine in 02 Rome. And this is an amazing lavender right here. These shadows are good as toppers. They're not really made to be standalone products, but if you pat this on top of your eye look, it has, where am I gonna stick this? It has a really nice effect. And those shadows feel almost creamy. Look at that. That is so pretty. I mean, I guess it could stand alone, but I'd probably use it as a topper. And then finally, I have this little MAC Quint. This is the Plum Luxe Volux Pearl Fusion Shadow. And I'm gonna swatch this dark lavender right here. It reminds me of one of the first shadows I swatched in this video from the Moon Dust palette. What finger's clean? And where am I gonna stick this guy? Right here. There you go. So pretty. That one could stand alone for sure, not just a topper. All right, you were warned. I have a crap ton of lavender eyeshadow. Some are not quite lavender, but they still look like lavenders. Like I said, I probably have 5 subcategories of lavender that I could do separate videos on, but we just put them all into this one. Don't let me buy any more lavender, okay, guys? Don't let it happen. All right, that is it for this video. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.